Good morning. Call to order, meeting of the Philadelphia City Commissioners Board of Elections for Friday, May 3rd. This meeting is in compliance under the Pennsylvania Sunshine Act. The Philadelphia City Commissioners are a three-member bipartisan board of elected officials in charge of elections and voter registration for the County of Philadelphia. Each commissioner is elected to serve a four-year term that coincide with the municipal election cycle for mayor and city council. The commissioners set and enforce departmental policies to administer voter registration and conduct elections in accordance with federal, state voter registration and election laws. The city commissioners were created by the Pennsylvania Assembly in 1711 with a focus on taxation and held various regulatory powers throughout the centuries. The commissioners started maintaining voter lists in 1799 and took on more election-related responsibilities, but didn't emerge in its current form until the adoption of Philadelphia's Home Rule Charter in 1951. We will start off with public comments. Before beginning their comments, commenters shall state where they live or if they are not a resident of Philadelphia and that they are a Philadelphia taxpayer. Public comment is not an opportunity for dialogue or Q&A. It is public comment, a chance for you to tell us what you think. Each speaker will have 2 minutes to speak. However, I may extend the time at my discretion. Public comment must concern matters on today's meeting agenda. Finally, it is my responsibility to preserve the order and decorum of the meetings as such. Profane, slanderous, discriminatory, personal attacks will not be tolerated. If you wish to make a public objection to a perceived sunshine violation, please raise your hand and I will recognize you. Outbursts will not be tolerated. Anyone wishing to offer public comment, please step forward. Hearing none, we will now move to report from Secretary Bluestein.
There were no public comments emailed by 10:45 a.m.
Thank you, Secretary Bluestein. This completes our old business for today's meeting. We will now move to the next agenda item, provisional ballot sufficiency determinations made by our supervisor of election, Roxanne Huff-Gross. Before we proceed, the professional staff has identified an additional category that was not included on the agenda. Therefore, I make the motion to amend the agenda to add provisional ballots that were not signed by the board workers. Is there a second?
Second.
Roxanne, could you please provide a report on this category?
Good morning, good commissioners. Yes, we have a total of, my name is Roxanne Huff-Gross. I am a voter registration and election board supervisor, and I'm here to serve and to inform you about the status of the proficiency ballots. For an example, is there some?
Motion real quick. We'll second it. We just want to vote on that motion real quick. Vice Chair, did you have any comments that you wanted to make on that motion?
I do not.
Secretary Bluestein, did you have any comments you wanted to make on this?
I do not.
Okay, you want to call the roll on this one?
Yes. Vice Chair Deeley.
I vote aye.
I vote aye. Chairman Sabir.
Aye.
Is there something I need to do for this? No? Okay. I have 49
Sure,
in
Mike.
total that are not signed by the board. Neither the judge of election or the minority inspector signature.
Okay. Thank you. A motion that this board accepts provisional ballots where the board workers did not sign the ballots, but the voter completed the ballot correctly. Is there a second?
Second.
Secretary Bluestein, please call the roll.
Vice Chair Deeley.
Aye.
I vote aye. Chairman Sabir.
Aye. So now we'll move on to these, man. So now we're going to move down to the other categories. A motion. Okay. So Roxanne, you want to do the report for each one of the categories?
Certainly.
Thank you.
First category is not in the shore system. We have 68.
I motion that this board does not accept the ballots where the voter is not found in shore. Is there a second?
Second.
Does anyone want to make a comment on this topic?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Secretary Bluestein, you want to call the roll?
Vice Chair Deeley. I vote aye. Chairman Sabir.
Aye. Roxanne, you want to do the next?
Canceled registrations, there were 35.
A motion that this board does not accept ballots of voters with a canceled registration. Is there a second?
Second.
Does anyone want to make a comment on this motion?
I do not.
No, Mr. Chairman.
Secretary Bluestein, please call the roll.
Vice Chair Deeley.
I vote aye.
I vote aye. Chairman Sabir.
Aye. Please proceed.
Next category, registered in another county, there were 71.
I motion that this board does not accept ballots of individuals who are registered in another county. Is there a second?
Second.
Does anyone have a comment on this motion?
I do not.
No, Mr. Chairman.
Secretary Bluestein, please call the roll.
Vice Chair Deeley.
I vote aye.
I vote aye. Chairman Sabir.
Aye. Please proceed.
Next category, not signed by the voter, there was 1.
I motion that this board does not accept ballots that have not been signed by the voter. Is there a second?
Second.
Does anyone want to make a comment on this motion?
I do not.
No, Mr. Chairman.
Secretary Bluestein, please call the roll.
Vice Chair Deeley.
I vote aye.
I vote aye. Chairman Sabir.
So what now? Aye. Want to proceed?
Next category, signature doesn't match, there were none.
Thank you.
Next category, voted in person, there were 7.
Okay. I motion that this board does not accept ballots where it was determined that the voter voted in person. Is there a second?
Second.
Does anyone have any comment on this motion?
I do not.
No, Mr. Chairman.
Secretary Bluestein, please call the roll.
Vice Chair Deeley.
I vote aye.
I vote aye. Chairman Sabir.
Aye. Want to proceed?
Next category, no word division on envelope, none.
I motion that this board accept ballots in instances where the provider provided all of the necessary and material information except the ward and division. Is there a second?
There is no balance.
So, I have no second. There's 0 in that category. We'll proceed to the next one. You want to proceed, Roxanne?
Yes. Returned mail-in or absentee that was counted, there were 40 mail-in and 1 absentee.
I motion that this board does not accept ballots in instances where the voter did not return a mail-in or absentee ballot that was counted. Is there a second?
Second.
Does anyone have a comment on this motion?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Secretary Bluestein, please call the roll.
Vice Chair Deeley.
I vote aye.
I vote aye. Chairman Sabir.
Aye. You want to proceed?
All right, ballot not enclosed in secrecy envelope. There were a total of 72.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question for Roxanne.
Yes.
Proceed.
Roxanne, were these voters determined to be registered voters?
Yes.
These voters signed the affidavit, correct?
Yes.
So the only thing wrong with these ballots is that they are missing a secrecy envelope, correct?
They were not in a secrecy envelope, but there was no secrecy envelope within the ballot.
Thank you.
A motion that this board does not accept ballots that were not enclosed in the secrecy envelope. Is there a second?
Mr.
Second.
Chairman,
Hold on now.
Second.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, may I make a remark on the motion?
Yes, ma'am. But just, when you talk when I'm talking, one-on-one, it confuses everything. But just, I give every opportunity after we second the motion. So you on 9, is that correct? It's just the same topic?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Good.
I believe whether or not a ballot is in the secrecy envelope is not material in determining whether or not such individual is qualified under state law to vote in such election. But unlike the mail ballots where the voters are filling them out on their kitchen table, these voters are doing this process in the polling place. The judge of election should be instructing them to place their ballot in a secrecy envelope. So this is a poll worker error that we should not be punishing the voter for. Furthermore, the difference here is the provisional ballots are outlined in the federal law, the Help America Vote Act, and this is a federal election. State law determines someone is eligible to vote. We determine these voters to be registered and that they signed the affidavit and that they have not already voted in another way, then we must count them. PA law has extra hurdles, but putting a ballot in a secrecy envelope has no bearing on whether or not someone is qualified to vote. I believe the PA law is in conflict with the Help America Vote Act. This has not been the subject of recent court challenges, and therefore I believe that these ballots should count.
Thank you. Secretary Bluestein, did you have a comment you wanted to make?
I have none.
Okay, I'll say the motion again. A motion that this board does not accept ballots that were not included. Want to call the roll?
Yes, sir. Vice Chair Deeley.
Nay.
I vote aye. Chairman Sabir.
Aye. Everything? Okay. All right, thank you, Roxanne, for all of the hard work that you and your staff do each election, and it's always a pleasure to see you. It's a pleasure to see you here. It's my first time seeing you here, in this capacity. Thank you for all the work that you do in DSG and all across our department. Your
Thank
service
you
is
for
greatly appreciated.
allowing me the opportunity to serve.
Thank you. We'll now move to the other portion of our agenda. Vice Chair Deeley, do you have any other business to be raised at this meeting?
I do not.
Secretary Bluestein, do you have any business to be raised at this meeting?
I have none.
Thank you, Commissioners. There are no more agenda items.